Alrighty guys, what is going on? There is a very new patch dropping very soon, and I'm not sure if this video is going to go out before or after that patch drops, but there's a lot of stuff going on in Call of Duty right now, and we're taking a look at the AN94 because just one of my favorite weapons in the game, and it's just absolutely busted with the stopping power rounds, which is absolutely wild. This is a pretty standard run-of-the-mill assault rifle without the stopping power rounds, but when you throw these stopping power rounds in this bad boy, you get a 2-shot kill, which is absolutely wild because of the hyper burst that does send those first 2 or 3 bullets out way faster than the rest. Of course, as I said, there is a patch dropping very soon with the reloaded Season 5 update, and if that does change this weapon or make it worse or make it better, well, this video is going to be completely irrelevant, so we'll see how we go. I suppose I'll be very sad if that happens. But anyway, just before we do get into it here, let's try and get this one to 25 likes. The support from all of you has been absolutely fantastic recently. We are still working towards 3,000 subscribers, which would be absolutely insane if we could hit that before the end of August. That's a tough ask. That is only like 6 days. That's a long way to go in 6 days. But I think we can get there. Do help me out in doing so by hitting that subscribe button with those notifications turned on, just so you don't miss out on any of the upcoming content. Loads of stuff coming up with the big update that's dropping very soon. So let's just jump straight into the AN94 here. So as many of you may know, the AN94 can be one of those weapons that is absolutely fantastic, or it can feel a little bit inconsistent sometimes, and that all comes down to whether you hit those first 2 or 3 shots or not. And that's a kind of an interesting weapon. Like, this is absolutely fantastic, but also a little bit frustrating sometimes. So starting off with our sidearm perks and grenade choices here, we want those Akimbo M19s. Basically, we just want a very powerful close range option with that monolithic suppressor, the XRKL super barrel, the 5mm laser, the lightweight trigger, and of course the Akimbo perk. Basically, anyone gets too close to us, we pull these out and absolutely blast them away. Although when we do have the AN94 with those stopping power rounds in, that's probably a better option at close range. As for our perks here, we do want a very standard setup of EOD and Ghost, basically for that explosion resistance. That Ghost to stay off of that UAV, and of course the newly favorite one of mine, the tune-up perk, basically which gives us 40% increase to our field upgrade speed, so we get those stopping power rounds online way faster, which is very powerful, especially with this particular weapon here. In the lethal slot, we do want the C4 for that great explosive tool. Basically, we chuck it over a wall around a corner, get an easy couple of kills, or we make a little bit of a smoke cloud with it, and we can cross gaps and stuff like that as an excellent piece of utility. In that tactical slot, we do want the stim shot, basically for that extra chance per life. Really nice tool here. So I've seen some AN94 slander on the timeline recently, and that's mostly justified. Like, I feel like this is a weapon that is designed around accuracy. Like, if you are incredibly accurate with this weapon, you will do fantastic. As for our attachments here, we are looking at the AN94 Factory X 438mm barrel. That is an absolute mouthful, but basically we just get that damage range, bullet velocity, and recoil control here, of course, extending out our damage range by about 30-ish%. A really nice barrel here, making it very easy to hit our shots from further away. As for our optic here, we're going for the best AN94 optic in my opinion, the Core Combat Hollow Sight. Gives you a nice level of zoom while having a nice clear sight picture. The Geomini Reflex is also nice on this option, but something about the Core Combat Hollow is very nice here. Makes it very easy to hit those shots. As for the stock slot, we want that folded stock for that movement speed and aim down sight speed. I do know that this does reduce our recoil control as well, making it a little bit harder to hit our shots, but that's why we've got our recoil controlling attachments to back this up. Do note that this also does increase our aim down sight movement speed, which makes it a little bit easier to sort of move around the map while we are aiming down sight. Feels very nice with the folded stock. Of course, that underbarrel, the Commando foregrip, the recoil stabilization and aiming stability that we do get from this does help counter that recoil control loss that we do get from that sort of folded stock in, and this combines with the barrel as well to hit those sort of horizontal shots. That vertical recoil is under control. And lastly, we want that stipple grip tape, of course, aim down sight speed, sprint to fire speed. Very strong in this game. On literally every weapon, you always want to be running those stipple grip tape stats. So as I said, the AN94 is a weapon that can be a little bit frustrating if you are missing those first couple of shots, but I mean, once you do throw those stopping power rounds in, all you have to do is hit 2 bullets, which is absolutely insane for an assault rifle that is built very quickly with this particular style. Like, with this particular option, we do get great movement speed as well as fantastic damage at range. Like, this is a well-balanced class, and when you do throw in those stopping power rounds, you absolutely shred people. We're just going to jump into some gameplay here and show off this particular class because I love it so much. Like, we did feature a one before with like the overkill and the AK-47 and those stupid rounds and the fully loaded perk. Like, you can do that, and it's kind of fun to do that, but you don't really need to do that. You can just run this and be fine instead. Alrighty, so in the next update that is dropping very soon, we are expecting a new LMG to be dropping, and it is absolutely cool. Like, the Season 5 mid-season updates and stuff like that, those mid-season ones are always very cool. I didn't actually change over my my lethal equipment, which I thought I should do, but Just wait for people to peek out. We should be able to do a decent amount of work here. This is the first game of Call of Duty I've played for a couple of days, so expect this to not be so crash hot. Like, we shouldn't be doing very good work here. But it's a nice little start there. Take that easy kill on that guy there. For the most part, just at the start of these games, like the start of these rounds, we're just looking to get those sort of stopping power rounds online nice and quickly. We'll go up the top, make it very, very easy to hit shots down on people. So just like look over this side, maybe over here. I don't really expect, say like that. That long shot there, you land those couple of bullets on the first little burst there and you'll always get a decent amount of kills. It's just going to be a little bit difficult to hit those shots sometimes. Like, that's one of the downfalls of this weapon. Like, sometimes the bullets just don't hit. Sometimes you aren't being accurate and sometimes you're having a bad time. That happens sometimes and I can respect that when that does happen, but I mean, weapons sometimes are all about accuracy. That doesn't make them bad weapons. Like, that's okay. Weapons are allowed to require extreme accuracy to be okay in this particular game. Like, it sort of makes it a little bit interesting when weapons have different stats and they sort of perform differently and, you know, it's... No! I didn't see that guy, but that is a little bit unfortunate. There's plenty of dudes around the middle of the map here. So, for the most part, you want to be firing like 5 or 6 shots, and then you want to sort of take a second, reset that aim. Like, ooh, not a great start there. We need to get into a better position here. But do note, if the gun appears weak in this particular video, it's because I'm bad. Trust me, this class absolutely bangs. If you've not used this before, just throw this together. Like, chuck on some attachments on the AN-94, chuck chuck the stopping power rounds on and you'll have an absolute blast. Like, it is so, so fun to use. Like, you absolutely shred people. We're going to take up a position in this particular blue building again. Pretty much just wait for people to run past. The slow fire rate after you do fire that initial burst is the reason you basically have to keep, like, re-firing or sort of re-aiming your weapon. Take a little bit of time, sort of fire the next little burst. But with the stopping power rounds in, 2-shot kill. Stupid. Absolutely ridiculous. Nope, cannot chuck the C4 if we don't have one. Oh no. Oh no. See what I mean? Like, that had nothing to do with the gun being bad. That was 100% on me being terrible. Nice. It does take a little bit of a while to get used to this. Like, this is not a weapon you can just throw on straight away and just absolutely dominate with. Like, it does take a little bit of practice. Like, you got to know things about this weapon to make it work, like, properly. Because it can be a little bit frustrating to use sometimes, and I completely understand if people don't like this weapon. Gotta fire those short little bursts, and it makes it very, very easy to hit shots sometimes, but I understand if you miss. Like, that happens. Like, that happens to the best of us. I wasn't expecting us to actually move. Nobody moves once they're in those buildings, so I also wouldn't have expected me to move, but, you know. No. That was unfortunate. And I can understand that some people don't really like this weapon, and that could come from playing on console. So with the control, this weapon would be a lot harder to use. Sort of controlling that sort of recoil would be a little bit more difficult sometimes. So I can appreciate if you hate this weapon, like you think it's bad because of that initial burst, you can't hit those shots. Like, I get it. Like, it makes perfect sense. I think on PC, this weapon is absolutely fantastic. Like, if you got... Oh my god. No. No! He was definitely trying to hit our C4 that we threw there. Ah, silly boys, don't line up. I think... I don't remember... I never remember what that perk's called that gives you that increased sort of... Oh. Is he above us? He is above us. It would have been nice to have dead silence on here. Actually kind of nervous about pushing that dude who's up there. Makes me a little bit spooked. Yeah, I don't really want to challenge that guy who's down there. Just chilling, having a good time, you know? No, that's okay. What's this game worth if you're not just going to challenge people? Let's go for it. Full send. He didn't even notice. What's that guy doing? I could hear you, buddy. I could hear you. Ah, AK. Take those stopping power rounds back in. I just love Crash. It's just a weapon where you can just chill most of the time. No! No, I was watching for us. He got the thermal sight on. Alright, I think this has gone on for long enough. We're going to have our final thoughts on this in just a second. Alrighty guys, so what do we think of our AN94? Well, I love this class so much. I just love the AN94. I think it's more down to just me loving weapons that are slightly different. They change things up in the game. Like, they get that hyper burst going, and it's just absolutely fantastic once you do have those stopping power rounds in. Does that mean the stopping power rounds are really good, or is the AN94 good? Well, I feel like it's a combination. Like, the gun works fine without it. It's like not a superstar without him, but with it, it absolutely shreds people. So it's sort of basically like the middle of the road. Like, sometimes it's good, sometimes it's like okay, and so yeah, it's just one of those weapons that feels good to me. And it can be a little bit difficult for people on console and like controllers and stuff to aim with this thing. Like, it does feel kind of bad sometimes when you don't hit those initial shots and then you get outgunned by someone with like a basically fully auto rifle. Anyway guys, thank you very much for watching this one. I'm not 100% sure when this is going to drop, like given the updates dropping very, very soon. But if any of this information does change, like they do nerf the weapon, buff the weapon, whatever, I'll try my best to include it in the video, or I might leave a pinned comment or something like that. Just before we do go here, try and get this one to 26 likes for me. I do appreciate all the likes and all the support recently. And if you haven't already done so, hit that subscribe button to help us get to 3k. I mean, I set a dumb challenge before, like 3k before the end of August, which is absolutely insane. But you never know, we might be able to do it. Let's try and go for that anyway. Thank you very much for watching, guys. I will see you in the next one. Bye!